without a voter's roll and voting with your ID is one of the simpler things. You get candidates to the already delimited wards, candidates to the constituencies, and of course the presidential candidates is the whole country. So people vote wherever they feel most comfortable on the day of voting. So it reduces, one of our major issues is the fear and violence. It reduces that specter of violence, because whoever is intimidated can leave that area without losing their vote and carry their vote with them. So there will be less appetite to get people to leave. Whereas with a voter's roll, you can simply, if those people on the voter's roll won't toe your line, they are intimidated, they are beaten. So either they are beaten into submission or they are beaten so that they leave and their vote doesn't count. Whereas when you are voting with your ID, wherever you are, your vote still counts. So it doesn't take anything. All that is required is the names of the people who would have voted is then captured at the point where they vote for audit purposes, and make sure that if there is a challenge, indeed all these records can be traced. So the issue of is simply, what is required is simply an agreement that this is what is going to take place. People vote where they are most comfortable with, as opposed to, because delimitation, some people might actually not know, delimitation is not going to be done for the 2018 election. So voter registration will not be used for delimitation. So you are going to have some constituencies with very high numbers and some constituencies with very low numbers. So that equalizes itself. So I think that the fear that people can be bussed is countered by really the major thing that fear is also drastically dealt with. And as I said there, ZEC is a captured institution. And the less they are involved with voter registration, the better. Because when they start voter registration... I think there are two different issues. When they were voting with the voting slips, and I can say in my own constituents, the genuine voting slips that were there, people were turned away. And then the fake voting slips were then used later on. What we are saying with this new constitution that is there is that every Zimbabwean is entitled to vote. So with voting without a voter's roll, you're simply saying every Zimbabwean is going to vote. So now, if all Zimbabweans don't like you, they don't like you. If the majority of Zimbabweans like you, they like you. So that is what the test is. Not that we should be looking to say only those people who can register to vote are the people who should then vote. Because take, for instance, they're only going to bring in a few kids. We saw it in 2013. And so they are not going to be able to continuously register anyone as is required by law. So they are only going to register some today, others tomorrow, others the next month. What happens to those who turn 18 after they've already registered? What's going to happen? So already it can become a way of manipulation. And believe you me, without a voter's roll, nobody knows who is going to vote where. And that way, nobody can intimidate, nobody can manipulate. If you look at what happened in Mount Pleasant, they knew exactly how many people were properly registered in Mount Pleasant. And then they just brought in and registered other people outside. And because they've got control of the voters' roll, all this information becomes a lot more privy to them than anyone else. So I think that a fear that any system Zanu-PF will manipulate, it is very clear that a voters' roll will be manipulated by Zanu-PF. But this other system, they will have to struggle. They will have to struggle.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.